Hi, I'm Sherry, and this is Gardening in the North. And today I'm prepping the area where I'm going to be planting this season's potatoes. Now, for some of you, you may recall that last season I decided I was not planting potatoes this year. I absolutely hate digging through the dirt trying to find the potatoes. I often slice them in half. I often forget some because not forget them, but I just don't find them until the next season. And really, it's just not for me. And I thought that I was a weird gardener, that I didn't want to dig in the dirt trying to find my potatoes, until I watched Rachel's video on that 1870s homestead, and she said the exact same thing. And I thought to myself, thank you, it's not just me. And she mentioned in her video that she was going to be going back to the Ruth Stout method. And I thought, what? And then I did my research and figured out that I too was going to be doing the Ruth Stout method. So as I was prepping the area for the potato patch, it dawned on me that if I could watch Rachel's video and realize that I too felt the same way that she felt, then maybe one of you might be watching one of my videos and you might be able to relate with the fact that you also don't want to be digging in the dirt for your potatoes and are open to trying a new way. So let's take a look. I want to show you what I've done so far, and then I'll tell you what I'm going to be doing. This is the area here that I've been prepping today for the new potato patch. So up in here in this area here is the hill garden. And right to the east of the new potato patch is the leaf compost. And then this box here, there's actually a few of them there. Those are the ends for the new raised beds that we're building. So what I've done here so far is I have laid down a slew of cardboard, and I still have a lot left over. I saved all of the cardboard from Christmas presents, and I've been storing it for this project. My idea is that this trellis here that's in the hill garden right here, I'm going to be planting tomatoes along there. But down here on this side of the trellis system, all along the area here, I'm actually going to be planting buttercup squash. And I want it to be able to vine over into this area. So what I've done is I've put the cardboard down, and I'm going to be covering it with wood chips. And then that way there's no problem for grass cutting, because it'll all be wood chipped and nobody will have to get in there to cut anything. So you'll notice that I have a raised bed here. This is my potato patch. Now, the only reason that I have put together this box structure for the potatoes is to make it a lot easier on my husband and my sons when they are grass cutting. So when they're coming along with the whippersnipper and they're trimming the grass, it's a lot easier to trim it up against something as opposed to trimming up against the hay and the straw. little bit about what I've done. In addition to building the box, I actually laid cardboard in the bottom of it because I really want to prevent that grass from actually growing through. I know that putting a really thick layer of the hay is going to help, you know, compress the need for the grass to grow, or the ability for the grass to grow. But I just wanted to make sure that I do that. So I've laid down the cardboard, and now I've put down about 12 inches of hay. Now this box is 10 by 5, 12 inches high. The box is filled. I know that over the next couple weeks, this hay is really going to compress down, and I'll probably want to add a little bit more before I throw my potatoes in there. So the next step that I'm going to do today is I'm going to go grab a wagon full of the mushroom compost that I have left over from last year, and I'm just going to sprinkle it on top. I want to sprinkle it on top so that when it rains in a couple days, a lot of the nutrients from that compost will seep into that hay and really make a nutritional soil for my potatoes to grow in. And really the idea of this method, the Ruth Stout method, is to limit the work. There's no digging, and to provide a soil that is rich in nutrients without adding any of the fertilizers that you may want to add to. Okay, so all the compost has been sprinkled onto the hay. One thing I need to mention is that I ended up having to use some of the compost that we've been making. Reason being is that that compost sits in the sun a little bit more, as opposed to the mushroom compost that is in the back of the hill garden, and it doesn't get sun all day. So it is a solid frozen block. And I need to remember that even though I'm out here today in a t-shirt in March, 3 days ago, everywhere that you see behind me was covered in snow. So I have to remember that we are just tiptoeing out of winter. Anyways, doesn't matter. I got some compost put on it. When it rains in the next couple days, it's going to, get the compost nice and wet. It will, all the nutrients from that compost will seep into that hay and make an amazing foundation for the potato seeds, or seed potatoes. So I'm probably going to be getting my seed potatoes, I'm thinking mid-April. So what I'll do is I'll bring them out here. I will take a look at this bed to see whether or not I want to add more hay, or just throw the potatoes in there and cover them with hay. But I'll make that decision when I come back out here in a few weeks before planting my potatoes. Thanks for spending time with me.